Welcome to Costco. I love you. A glimpse into tomorrow, today. Remember Idiocracy, the future where everyone's dumb as rocks? They drink electrolytes for plants. Hilarious, right? Look around. We're in our own version of it. Think about it. Politicians say the darndest things. Influencers famous for what? And the comments section. A dumpster fire. It's like a dictionary factory on fire. But maybe it's not all bad. Maybe we're in a transitional phase, like puberty to adulthood. Instead of acne, we have conspiracy theories. We're diving into our modern world. Spoiler alert, it's closer than you think. Technology is a double-edged sword, sharper than a toddler with a katana. Instant access to all information, but we waste it on cat videos, outsourcing our thinking to algorithms. Technology was supposed to make us smarter. Instead, we're dopamine-addicted zombies. Let's talk about pop culture for a sec, specifically the dumpster fire that is reality TV. We all need a little mindless entertainment sometimes, but watching strangers scream over yogurt, that's a problem. It's not just the Kardashians. Talent shows, dating shows, Real Housewives, eroding our brains, glorifying superficiality and drama, but we eat it up. We can't get enough, like moths to a flame, normalizing bad behavior, fame for fame's sake. It's a vicious cycle. We're desensitized to the absurd, and that's how society loses its mind. Politics, the arena where ideals clash and the future of nations is debated, the art of politely telling your opponent to go jump in a lake, all while maintaining a smile. It used to be that political discourse was, discourse, a genuine exchange of ideas and perspectives. Thoughtful debate using logic and reason was the cornerstone of our democratic process, but somewhere along the way, something changed. The tone shifted and the substance began to erode. Maybe it was the 24-hour news cycle, constantly demanding fresh content and sensational headlines, or the rise of social media, where everyone has a platform, but not everyone has something constructive to say. Or maybe it was just the fact that we ran out of decent politicians, those who truly cared about public service. Whatever the reason, political discourse has devolved into a shouting match, more akin to a playground squabble than a serious discussion. Instead of engaging in meaningful discussions about policy, we see grandstanding and theatrics. We resort to name-calling, insults and ad hominem attacks rather than addressing the issues at hand. We've become so entrenched in our own beliefs that we're unwilling to even listen to opposing viewpoints, let alone consider them. The result? Gridlock, polarization, and a complete erosion of trust in our elected officials. The very fabric of our democracy is at risk, and it's not just the politicians who are to blame. We, the electorate, play a significant role in this downward spiral. We, the people, are complicit in this downward spiral. Our appetite for drama and conflict fuels the fire. We've become so accustomed to the constant barrage of negativity that we've lost sight of what really matters. The real issues get buried under the noise. We're more concerned with scoring points for our team than we are with finding solutions to the very real problems facing our country. It's time for a change. Remember school? Those days filled with curiosity, excitement, and the joy of discovering something new? Those halcyon days of learning and growth? Yeah, me neither. It seems like a distant memory, almost like a dream that never really existed. Because somewhere along the way, we decided that education wasn't about expanding minds or fostering critical thinking. It became a system of compliance and conformity. No, it was about standardized tests, rote memorization, and the relentless pursuit of grades. We turned our schools into factories, churning out obedient little worker bees ready to fit into the cogs of a machine. We've stripped away the arts, the humanities, the very things that make us human. Creativity and expression have been sidelined. The joy of painting, the thrill of performing, the beauty of music, these are now considered luxuries, not essentials. We're so focused on teaching kids how to pass a test that we've forgotten to teach them how to think for themselves. We've created a generation of passive learners. And the results are terrifying. Confusion, stress, and a lack of critical thinking skills are rampant. We've got a generation growing up without the critical thinking skills necessary to navigate the complexities of the modern world. They're overwhelmed by information, drowning in a sea of data. Unable to discern fact from fiction, they struggle to make sense of the world around them. They're easily swayed by propaganda and misinformation, prime targets for manipulation and exploitation. And the worst part, it's only getting worse. With budget cuts, teacher shortages, and a growing emphasis on standardized testing, the future of education looks bleak. We're failing our children, and in doing so, we're failing ourselves. The system is crumbling, and the cracks are widening. If we don't act now, the consequences will be dire. We owe it to the next generation to fix this, to bring back the joy of learning, and to create a future where education truly empowers. Here's a fun fact. You don't need most of the stuff you own. Seriously, think about it. How many of those gadgets, clothes, and trinkets do you actually use on a regular basis? Probably not many. That new gadget you just had to have, the one you thought would change your life, it's now collecting dust on a shelf, forgotten and unused. Those clothes you bought on impulse, the ones you thought would make you look amazing, they still have the tags on them, hanging in your closet, never worn. We've become slaves to consumerism, convinced that happiness can be found at the bottom of a shopping cart. We chase after the latest trends, thinking they'll bring us joy, and the powers that be, they love it. They thrive on our endless consumption. They bombard us with advertising, telling us we're not good enough, not thin enough, not rich enough. They create a sense of lack and inadequacy. They prey on our insecurities, making us believe that the only way to achieve true fulfillment is to buy. It's a never-ending cycle. This relentless pursuit of material possessions has a name: affluenza. It's the disease of overconsumption. It's a social disease, and it's making us sick. We're stressed, overwhelmed, and never truly satisfied. We're so caught up in the rat race that we've lost sight of what's truly important: our relationships, our communities, our planet, and the worst part, it's all completely unnecessary. We don't need all this stuff to be happy. We don't need to buy our way to happiness. True joy comes from connections, experiences, and moments shared with loved ones. In fact, studies have shown that experiences bring us far more joy than material possessions ever could. Memories last a lifetime while things fade away. So put down the credit card, take a step back, step away from the shopping cart, and reconsider your priorities. Go for a walk in the park, spend time with your family, or simply enjoy the beauty of nature. Your brain and your wallet will thank you. True happiness isn't bought, it's experienced. The internet. That glorious, terrifying, endlessly fascinating digital landscape. It's a place where you can learn how to build a rocket ship one minute and watch a cat playing the piano the next. It's a tool of unprecedented power, capable of both great good and unspeakable evil. The internet has democratized information like never before. We have access to a wealth of knowledge. We can connect with people from all over the world, sharing ideas and experiences. But it's also a breeding ground for misinformation and lies. Social media algorithms trap us in echo chambers, feeding us content that confirms our biases. We're bombarded with clickbait headlines and curated narratives designed to manipulate us. The internet can be an incredible force for good, but it could also lead to our downfall. It's up to us to be critical thinkers, to question what we read online, and be wary of anyone trying to sell us something, or a version of reality that isn't true. So, are we doomed? Are we destined to become the drooling, slack-jawed morons from Idiocracy? Well, it's not looking good, but it's not hopeless either. Humans are resilient. We adapt, learn, and overcome. We're not inherently stupid, just misinformed. There's hope. People want to learn and grow. We need to support and amplify those fighting for education and critical thinking. So, back to our original question. Are we living in an idiocracy? The answer, my friends, is complicated. We're not quite there yet, but we're definitely on a slippery slope. We've got the technology, the pop culture, and the political climate to make it a reality. But here's the good news. We still have a choice. We can choose to be informed, to be engaged, to be critical thinkers. We can choose to support education, to value knowledge, and to celebrate intelligence. Or we can continue down the path of least resistance, letting ourselves be lulled into a state of blissful ignorance by our gadgets, our entertainment, and our dysfunctional political system. The choice is ours. Let's hope we make the right one, because if we don't, well, at least there's always Brawndo. It's got electrolytes, plants crave it, it's got what plants need. As we stand at this crossroads, it's crucial to ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to create? The road ahead is not set in stone, and with the right mindset, we can steer our society away from the brink of idiocracy. Imagine a world where technology is used to uplift, not dumb down, where education is revered, not neglected. A world where critical thinking is the norm, not the exception. It starts with small changes, questioning the information we consume, engaging in meaningful conversations, and holding our leaders accountable. We must foster communities that prioritize knowledge and empathy, encourage curiosity in our children, and celebrate intellectual achievements. The ripple effect of these actions can lead to a more enlightened society. While the challenges are daunting, the potential for a brighter future is within our grasp. It requires effort, determination, and a collective will to strive for better. Remember, the power to shape tomorrow lies in the choices we make today. So let's choose wisely and work together to build a world that values intelligence, compassion, and progress. The future is not a given, it's a creation. Let's create one we can be proud of.